Three things on it myself. I didn't even watch the game. Just setting me up. Also, last week, your video, I did nothing but praise Celtic. That whole video. Hun Fairman. He's a Hun man. He's a Hun now. Yeah. He didn't say Shane Duffy's God. He's a Hun now. Jesus Christ, man.
Finally, we'll move over to Snooze. We'll move over to Celtic 3, Livy 2 for 85 minutes of the game or whatever. Up to Livy scored their second. It was a solid performance. Minute that goes in, we're shite. So it was a weird one today at Celtic Park. But of course, we are top of the table again. Maybe not for long. Of course, we need Hibs to do us a favour tomorrow. You didn't watch the game, David, so before I jump into three things we learned about today's game, your thoughts regarding the game today, Neil Lennon, everything else. You were quite vocal to me before we went on the air and on the air about Lennon and his team selection. But today, gathering from what you've heard from me, what you've seen on socials and everything else, what are you thinking about today's game with Celtic and Livingston?
Well, I mean, the team selection, you saw the reaction on Twitter. I didn't really get it. So I think most Celtic fans didn't get it. But I think it comes down to the fact that this season, such a massive season for the Old Firm, Celtic just need to keep winning at all costs. And it doesn't sound like today that they were great. It sounded like they got the job done. Perhaps the scoreline slightly flattered Livy. You said it yourself on your video Wednesday. They need to find that killer instinct in terms of killing a game when they're on top. They didn't do that today, and they almost suffered. But listen, as long as they keep winning, I don't think there's an awful lot. This season especially, with the pressure on it, it's all about the 3 points. And Lennon has got the job done today, maybe not in the style he would have expected. My big frustration from Celtic, from an outside point of view, is the fact that David Turnbull's not playing. It just does my head in. I think he's absolutely fantastic.
Why is David Turnbull the one
but he is just so good, and I don't get why they're not giving him more of a chance early on.
Look, somebody who said it in the chat, what is it they said about the cool-off period in their contract or whatever, got to wait. It's going to wait, and it seems that's in a few players' contracts. It took Klimala time to get in.
Klimala's such a strange one as well, because what else can he do? I mean, he's off the bench and scoring. So if you're him, that's all you want from a player who's not getting the team. So
yeah, look, listen, it's a typical performance that is going to have people talking. The last few performances have. Is Lennon right in the right mindset? Does he know what he's doing? All these different bits and bobs. It's just a massive conversation every time Celtic do anything, whether it's a 3 points or not. But look, ultimately, we got what we need, and that's 3 points. And I just want to keep reminding people, right now we're at a very tough point in the season where we've got such a busy fixture list. 3 points is ultimately what I'll take, and I'm happy with that. So very quickly, the 3 things we've learned from today's video. David, what's the 3 things that you've learned, son? On you go.
From not watching the game and what you've told me. Well, one of them I think you might be stealing as well. Lennon doesn't know his best team. I think you might steal that as well.
We'll kick off with that, and I'll let you talk about this first. On you go.
So, I think that it's quite telling last season that the real big games, sometimes it was forced through injuries. He tended to play 4-2-3-1. So, like in Europe, he would do that, whereas he would probably play on the Saturday, play 3-5-2. So, I think if you were to ask Neil Lennon what his best team is, I don't think he'd know, because I think there might be part of him that would still be inclined to play 4-2-3-1. Whereas when you look at how well Ayeti's doing, it'd be so difficult to make the argument. And how well Griffiths did last season with the 2 to not play 3-5-2. So, yeah, listen, come the Old Firm, I think the team selection will be a really big one, because all Celtic fans will be crying out for him to play 3-5-2. Will he do it? I don't know. And I think the fact that he keeps changing the back line as well, I think the key to success in terms of defence normally is to have a settled back 3 or a back 4. At the moment, I mean, I'm not entirely sure he knows what his best back 3 is, to be perfectly honest. I mean, he's got Julian Ayer and Duffy, he's got Beaton, he's got El Hamed, and they're all going to play a lot. Again, it's a squad game, but I think maybe today, again, the team selection is an indication that, he doesn't maybe know his strongest team, and they need to get a settled side, I think.
Fair enough. As I said throughout the stream as well, we spoke about this, about 80 minutes into the game or something. Lennon, I think he's nearly there. I think he knows 9 of his 11. I think he's like, I've got a couple of areas where it's just like, I don't know. You see Forrest starting at left wing back. You see the strikers changing and everything, like who's starting all the time. Eduardo's dropped today. I can only imagine through some form of knock. Look, I think Lennon is unsure of his best 11. There's definitely a doubt in there. In his head, I think I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the nerves of the response he'll get if things go wrong. I don't know if it's just sheer stupidity. I'm sure he'll hear it all today on social media, on the radio. I'm sure that the phone-ins will be crawling with fans, calling for Neil Lennon to explain his tactics and his choices. Turnbull should have got more time today. It was obviously sub was held back a little bit, but certainly the first thing I think that you pointed out to me, thank you very much, Mr. Buke, that Celtic don't know our best 11. Second thing, move on to very quickly, and I don't know how many weeks in a row I'm going to have to say this. That back line needs a kick up the arse. Because these moments where we switch off for even 30 seconds, what does it result in? What did it result in today, Big Dave?
2 goals for Livy, didn't it, really? Well, one was a penalty, but still switching off.
Switching off. Well, to be fair, the penalty was, it was a stone waller, but I think Ayer is just unlucky the way he goes in, the ball hits off his hand, you're like, there's not much you can do. He's trying to block the cross, it just doesn't work. But the second goal, Big Kosh, as we call him, sends the cross in. It's gone absolutely nowhere. And what is the Celtic defence doing? Just staring, watching, that's it. And it gives the boy, is it Serrano who scored? Gives the boy all the space in the world. Bang, top corner, goal. And Barkas, yes, people will probably come out going, I wish I'd done better, I wish I'd saved it. Well, you know what? Potentially, yes, the whole team switched off for a minute and we were punished. And David, I know you'd be very vocal about what Rangers would do to us if we switch off against them. And if no try to throw you under the bus as the big Rangers man here, but yeah, he's like, the comment section now.
Oh my God, he doesn't think Rangers are dreadful. What a hun, man. Just see it.
But if you're being genuine about it, like I'll say as well, Rangers and teams in Europe, if we're playing Sarajevo, if we're playing we put Riga, we give these teams these chances, give them the space, and don't press to them, and we just give them far too much time. You know what's going to happen.
But just look at the Ferencvaros game. It was defensive lackadaisicalness, just not focusing, that killed them, and it will do that in big games. Duffy, yeah, listen, you put me on the spot last week by asking if I thought he was the best defender in Scotland. I'm still not commenting on that. But what I will tell you is early signs are what a difference he's made and what a difference he will make. And if he can really start to marshal that back three or back four and get them all focused and committed to being as good and as aggressive with the defending as they are with their ball playing and all the rest of it, then things will get better and he will help that. But you're right, they do need to improve for definitely when they play Rangers. And even, teams like Hibs, Aberdeen and stuff, they do need to start really, and it does come with seasons at the start. A lot of the time it takes a wee while to get in the rhythm of just being as strong at the back as you are sometimes going forward. But Duffy will certainly help them do that, and it's what they need. And
Duffy was great again today. Really good. But in the comments, Psycho Candy pointing out a really good thing. That chance in the 94th minute, a ball sent into the box, lumped in, 94th minute. They can equalise. No one's on him. Ayer's left his man. I'm sure it's Ayer anyway. Or it's Beaton. It's one of the two. Left their man. I mean, if that comes off a better connection, it's a goal. Livy have made it 3-3 in the 90th minute. So, we need to focus on him. But Duffy today, I thought he looked good. Moving forward with the ball, looks really like he just strolls. Players scared to go towards him. Really like him. And finally, the third and final thing we have learned is I tried to let David go for his pint. How exciting a scale from 1 to 10 you for your pints, sir?
I'm looking at the sunny weather and probably an 8.5.
Is it good up there? Is like here?
Probably up here.
It must be like I'm jealous of you. You must have it really good when it's sunny.
Yeah, when it's sunny, there's no place better.
Just the big open land and all that. Yeah, it must be great, man. It must be great. The third thing we learned, I don't actually have a third thing. I've been sitting here thinking like in my head, but today I think there was individual performances that spelled out a lot. And I'm going to go with the big call that I said about a year earlier. No, I'm not going to say the third thing we learned. Yes. I'm not going to go third thing we learned. Ayeti's getting 25 goals, by the way. I'm not going to say that. What I'm saying is, though, Ayeti, you're looking at a man who could score 20 goals this season. He is unbelievable. No, I'm like, right, okay, let's know, right, tongue out for a wee second, Brian, fuck me. But, like, the finish today is gorgeous. And if you mix that playmaking ability he's got, the technical ability, and to score a chance like that so sweetly, so beautifully, along with all the tap-ins and everything else he's going to score with Edouard creating beside him, you're looking at 20 goals for him at least this year in all competitions. So yes. I am very, very excited. Do you mind, Dave? Sorry. But Ayeti, 20 goals this season. I don't know if you agree, but I mean, we spoke about it quite a bit during the stream, the chat. We're quite active on it. People saying he's not going to score 25, he's going to score 25. Fans he does
seem to be a natural goal scorer, though. Right place, right time on a number of occasions, and yet again today. So he's scored a fair few. You made a really good point in stream as well about how him and Edward as a two Edward, we know he loves to drop deep and pick up the ball, sometimes drift out to the wings and make things happen. If you can maintain that presence in the middle, because this is when Celtic play one up top and they've got Edward and Edward drops deep, you need people going on beyond him, and that doesn't happen often enough. But if you've got another striker, you've got that space, then create space for everyone else at the midfielder. So he will benefit a lot from having Edward doing this thing, and he'll pick up a lot of scraps that he has done so far, and he'll definitely be a good addition.
Fantastic. Cheers, Dave. That was really nice. That was
thanks, mate.
Well spoken.
Appreciate it.
Well spoken.
Thank you, mate.
And hopefully the comments are nice.
I'm a Celtic man this week.
He's got a season ticket, I swear. Up to Parker's with me when it's back up, man.